Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Jared Aroka, who is the chairperson of the James Wuod Maggero Memorial Service that will be held in Stockholm on the 3rd of February, that is on Saturday in 2 weeks' time. Mr. Aroka, welcome to this interview.
Thank you very much.
Now, you know the circumstances surrounding the death and the funeral arrangements of Mr. Maggero.
Yes, I certainly do.
Can you please comment on these circumstances?
Well, the death of Wuod Maggero is not an ordinary one. We have been able to have deaths of Kenyans in this country, but this particular one is very unordinary in the sense that, first of all, Wuod Maggero was cremated here in Sweden. Secondly, as an elder, our expectations were that there would be a little bit of time that's given so that we, the Kenyan community in Sweden, be able to view the body and also members of his family in Kenya and even in other parts of Europe, also get an opportunity to do the same before burial.
Now, Mr. Maggero has been cremated, and the family in Kenya could not manage to come for the cremation. What do you have to say about this?
I think that it is a pathetic matter, a very serious situation, based on the fact that James Wuod Maggero had a wife in Kenya, has grandchildren in Kenya, has another family in Kenya, just as well as he has a family in Sweden. That the Kenya family and Kenya part of his family has not been given an opportunity to come to Sweden to view the body before burial is a tragedy.
Now, Mr. Aroka, there has been a lot of debate on the issue of privacy of the Maggero family. There are those who think that this issue is private, it should be a family affair, and that Kenyans who are asking questions are interfering in internal family business. What do you have to say as a person who is on the front line in organizing the Maggero Memorial Service?
First of all, their opinion is their opinion, and I have nothing to do with that. What we are saying is that we come from a community that's called the Luo community, and we have a tradition, we have a culture. If they want to go out of the culture of the Luo community, that's their own issue. However, what we are sitting here and discussing and trying to find solutions for are what does the culture of the Luo people say about the death of a person as respectable as Wuod Maggero, who has lived here since beginning of 1960s.
In other words, you are saying that the involvement of other Kenyans in this issue is normal.
I think that what I'm saying is that everybody has got an opinion, and that opinion, the opinion that whatever opinion they have, it's not a problem for us. We are very clear about what is the right thing to do in case of death, and it has been what we have been doing in other deaths in Sweden. It is not the first death that we have had. A lot of people have died since the last 20 years that I've been in this country. We have had the death of Collins Wuod, we have had the death of Ivan Sangiela, we have had the death of Wapogai, and the rest of them. We treated them with honor and buried them in the right way as
Now, another controversial issue which has been raised is the fact that the Maggero Swedish family is the next of kin which should be involved in this issue. There is evidence that Maggero had a family in Kenya. whom do you think has the right over the burial arrangements?
Well, first of all, I want to say that it has come to our knowledge that Maggero was a polygamist. He had a wife in Kenya whom he did not divorce. And this woman in Kenya, who is Maggero's wife, was married in church. He also later on had a wife in Sweden. So we must also, and it is in our culture as Luo people, to be polygamists. I also come from a polygamous family. I respect it. Therefore, the first wife that he had in Kenya should have been given an opportunity and respect that she deserves as being Maggero's wife, therefore contributing towards the issues of the Maggero's burial in Sweden.
Mr. Aroka, there is another controversial issue of cremation of Mr. Maggero, and according to the family, Maggero said that he should be cremated when he dies. What do you have to say about this?
First of all, when it comes to the issue of cremation, I would want to say that Maggero is the first a very important person in Sweden who has been cremated. We have a case, one other case of an African who was cremated and is from Guinea, Ivory Coast. And this person was cremated because there was nobody who knew who could take care of him. He was just like a lost person. His people, his relatives, they were not there in Sweden. So he was cremated and taken back. The case of Maggero is a very special one. We Africans don't accept cremation, and we want to say clearly and in clear terms that we reject cremation as a way to deal with the soul of a dead person. In the future, Kenyans who die here, we want to say that we reject cremation and nobody should cremate.
Now, there are Kenyans who are married to white Swedes, and this issue is also becoming very sensitive to mixed couples. Maggero was in a relationship with a Swedish woman, and we have also witnessed what has happened. There has been lack of communication and so forth. Now, for Kenyans who are married to white Swedish women in particular, what do you think that, I mean, how do you see the issue? What is your perspective?
I think these Kenyans who are married to white women are also in contact with us. When they're living and they don't have issues, and when we are socializing, they should talk about these matters, and they should not hide about issues of this nature, because when they die, we will have to deal with these matters anyhow. So it is important that they talk about it openly and say that this is how I would want to be treated in case I die in this country. The case of James Wuod Maggero has brought a new situation to matters of death, and we know for sure that many other Kenyans, if not Africans, will be cremated in this country after this. But I say that we must fight as Kenyan leaders and stop this nonsense.
Now, if a person leaves a will that this person should be cremated, do you think that the Kenyan community should go against this, or do you think this should be respected?
I think that all Kenyans who are married to white people should talk openly about what they would expect to happen if, in case they die. Therefore, it should not just be an issue of their families. If they write a will, the problem about the will that we are talking about is that we will not see the will. We will not know what is the will, because the will is for the family. If the family says that he wrote a will that he should be cremated, he should be buried in Sweden, how will he know about it? That will is not an open secret for Kenyans. We'll not know about it.
Now, when Maggero died, there was a delay in announcing his death. Can you comment on this?
I really feel very bad about that, and I feel that in case of death, the family should have come out openly and announced it immediately, so that it should, because Maggero has got his Kenyan roots. The Kenyans and the friends of Maggero, the close friends, should have been informed in time about the death, so that they could be able to inform other Kenyans as to what needs to be done.
There are those who argue that Maggero had already dropped his cultures and that he didn't care where he was going to be buried or how he was going to be buried. What is your view?
I don't believe so, because Maggero, on a number of occasions, invited us to Helena Lund, where he lived, especially when on occasions when he had the marriages of his girls, and those marriages were conducted in respect for the tradition that the Lu tradition that he came from. So I don't really, if somebody tells me that, I would say that is bullshit, because Maggero respected his culture.
Do you have any evidence that Maggero respected his cultures?
Well, I would also say that yes, of course. I would say yes. How? When a lot of Kenyans have died in this country, Maggero has been the forefront of raising money to take those people back home. That is a respect of culture enough.
There is a group of Kenyans calling themselves liberated young Kenyans who believe that those Kenyans who are trying to intervene in the situation are infringing on the rights of the Maggero Swedish family. They believe that these issues to do with the cultures, especially certain burial cultures, should be abolished, and that they don't go by this, and that those who are following up this issue have simply not been liberated. What is your view?
My view is clear that what happens to Maggero will happen to very many Kenyans. In fact, I believe that a lot more Kenyans now will be buried in this country and also cremated in this country. So it is not new, and it is a concern definitely for me and for a lot of other Kenyans that we must talk very loud about this matter and try to change opinion of the Kenyans that we don't accept this. What has happened today? We don't accept it.
If you are in a position and as a member of the Luo community, what should have happened after the death of Maggero, regardless of the fact that, given the fact that he was married to a Swedish woman?
I would have wanted Maggero's immediate relative to work very closely with the Kenyan community in Sweden, and especially those Kenyans who are very close friends of James Wuod Maggero, like, for instance, Dr. Warriero, to be able to be a contact person in terms of organizing the funeral for James Wuod Maggero. Secondly, I would also have wanted a delay of the funeral, so that a lot of Kenyans, both from Kenya and also friends of Wuod Maggero in other parts of the world, to come to Sweden to be part of the funeral.
Now, Maggero's former, daughter-in-law was one of the main speakers at the memorial service last Friday. Do you think that it was correct for her to have represented the Maggero family in Kenya?
I would not have other problem, but now when I get to know a little bit more about her, there's a bit of concerns from my side. That for instance, that she has not been living with the Maggero son in the last 15 years, and that is a great concern, definitely. So I don't see that she would have really represented the interest of Maggero's clan in that.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I would want to say that we are going to have a memorial service for James Wuod Maggero as a Luo elder on the 3rd of February 2007. And we are inviting all Kenyans and all friends of Kenyans, both in Sweden and in Scandinavia, or even in Europe, to come and be part of that, so that they can be able to listen to what we see what we're doing and listen to what we are saying in terms of giving James Wuod Maggero the best rest that he could have as dead.
Is Maggero's Swedish family also invited to the memorial?
I would definitely want to invite them, because they are part of this, and there's been a lot of issues that have been going up and down. They kind of feel that they've been left out, but I don't see that they should be left out. They should be invited, so that if they have an opportunity to come, James Wuod Maggero's family should come, immediate family should come to that memorial ceremony.
Thank you very much, Bwana Jared Aroka, the chairperson of the Maggero Memorial Service that is set to take place on Saturday, the 3rd of February 2007.
Thank you very much.